Hello, this is Gene. I don't really know why I'm doing this video and why I have to keep defending Donald Trump. As many of you know, I'm a Democrat for life, although the Democrats have changed so much in the last 4 or 5 years. They become part of the party of gender identity. It's very run over with most feminisms now, feminist theories. But I feel that it's something I need to do. Down below I'll put a couple of videos, or maybe just one, where I talk about the responsibility that women have when it comes to having a baby, the whole abortion issue. So yesterday, Donald Trump went down and talked to Chris Mathews from MSNBC. And I think that any rational person would say the type of questions that he was giving were gotcha type questions. However, he is running for the presidency of the United States, and he should be able to answer it correctly. If I find that actual interview, I'll put it down low as well so you can look at it. Now, he looked uncomfortable trying to answer basically a, what's the word I can say, a fictional scenario that if the law was that abortion was illegal in this country, that would you punish women for having it? And he kind of like backed off of that and said maybe not, maybe the doctor or whatever. Okay, this is the problem I want to talk about. Of course, the media is trying to find anything he might say that will stop him from winning, because they're concerned about him. But they're not concerned about what he's going to do to the country, whether it be bad or good. He's doing it because their power over everybody else will be nullified, because he will basically call them out. Now, let's talk about abortion. Okay, and like I said, I did a video on this already about responsibility. If in the, it'll never happen, but in the future, if there was an actual law that, of course, before I get to that, they keep asking not just him but other people, like, what would you do if you were president? What would you do as far as nominating justices into the Supreme Court? Would you use abortion as a litmus test? Of course, if I was doing it, I wouldn't say that, and I would never say that would be the one thing that I would decide whether somebody could be on the Supreme Court. But the point I want to make is that the president doesn't make law. That's Congress' jobs to do. Now, if there's something that comes along and they say that under the Constitution, after discussing it, they decide that our Roe v. Wade is unconstitutional, and they give this is the Supreme Court, if they give some guidelines back to the Congress about how the states could set up their states to, now that, let's say that they went in and said that all abortion is illegal. Let's say that some part of sciences that come out that we know without a fact that the baby or the fetus, whatever you want to call it, is in so much pain when, at the time that the abortion has said. Let's say after 4 weeks, they find that by the preponderance of the evidence, more than that. Let's say it's like the climate debate. They say 97% of scientists say that it's caused by us. Okay. Some people on the other side don't think that's true, but let's just say that we'll go with that. And so that's kind of like a scientific fact. So if 97% of those who study these things find out the baby in womb at 4 weeks experiences pain, or their brain is formed to the point that they have thought or something like that, and at that point, after they get rid of Roe v. Wade, then they continue this thing, and they go back and say we're not going to have abortion after 4 weeks, let's say, or just say, instead of that, we're not going to have abortion. Okay, something that never happened in this country. It just won't, because the women's groups are so powerful. It's not going to happen. So just say that we have this law. So the point that Donald was saying, in this fictitious world, yeah, you probably would have to punish the women. And this gets me back to what we actually say in this country or in this world about giving women responsibilities. They don't have any responsibilities when it comes to babies. Even though they say it's their body and all this stuff, they're the ones that cause all the abortions. They have enough ways to stop from having the baby. Even after the end, after they have a baby, they still have enough time to do something, and at the end of the day, they can't abort. But if there was a law and it said you couldn't have an abortion, why in the hell would we? Of course, you have to punish the woman. If we're going to say in the law, now there are some places if you are a mother and you're carrying a baby and something happens to you in a car or something like that, that the person that hit you or whatever, if he's under the influence, he could be charged not only with your death if you die, but also the baby's death if the baby dies. So in some way in the law we already look at this. But if the law would ever change that they say let's say at conception that's a life, and then a female decides at some point that she doesn't want to carry it to term, that she makes that choice, she has that ability as a person to make that choice, then decides to abort that baby, even though that baby under law now, because if this is how the law is supposed to be, that baby has rights to life, that it is against the law and it should be punished. This society just sits and look at women like they're some sort of retarded children that will never have to give them any agency over anything. So the entire thing, it's, and what really upsetted me, and there was somebody actually on Breitbart this morning, not that I listened to it much, but I was walking, and at the very end a woman came on and said, if you're about pro-life, and if there ever was going to be this portion, now she's a pro-life person, but she doesn't ever believe that they're going to get to that point, but let's just say that it is. Who would you have to give responsibility to and punish if you did it? It might be the wrong law, it might be the wrong, but the point is, does these women have any responsibility at any time when it comes to this? They have over 19 forms of birth control, and they still have babies. Abortion is legal in this country, but they still complain. Look, this is the point I'm trying to make. The media doesn't look at everything. Now, if you look at the actual headline saying that it basically said that Trump believed that if you have an abortion, you should be punished. It didn't take the entire view of it that he said if, again, this is another gotcha question, if it was illegal to have an abortion, would you blame the woman? Would you punish the woman? To me, it seems like if we're going to actually talk about this stupid scenario, and I wish he would have stopped it there and said, look, that's not factual. I said, and first, I'm the president, I wouldn't have that choice. Anyway, the pro-lifers come out and they just vilified Trump by that. Well, you don't want to punish the woman. I don't understand that. I mean, seriously, if you are pro-life and you think that life starts at conception and there is a law in the future that this happened, who are you going to punish? It's just, this stuff infuriates me. That's why I'm wearing red today. Because I don't understand it. We just look at women like they have no responsibility in this life, that it's somehow the man's fault because they get pregnant. Of course, we're part of the problem too, but is this one area that, even though it's her body, her choice, that she has no agency of her own body, and at the end of the day, after she screws up, that she is not responsible for her body, guess what happens then? Either she's gonna, if a man wants to stay with her and they get married and all that stuff, that's great. Either that, or they're gonna go after the man that impregnated her because she wasn't responsible enough. If they can't find a man, the state's gonna come in and welfare we're gonna be there to take care of her. So she already knows that she has a plan that she's gonna be taken care of just because she has a baby. On the other side of that, they want us to pay for basically what they are, abortion mills, Planned Parenthood, and they want taxpayers to pay for it. And I'm like, when in the hell are women going to be responsible in these areas? Of course, there is always outliers. Somebody is raped, somebody is a victim of incest, or something like that. It happens. But the vast majority of people in this country that have abortions, They do it because it's their choice to do it, and it becomes their way to stop. It's their own sense of having a birth control. And it's disgusting to me. And I want women to have the same responsibilities that men have. If they want to be equal, and I've said it so many times in my videos, that as any rational man will never look at a woman that espouses these type of views, that it should be, abortion should be on demand, or if you have the baby, then the state should come in and help, that there always should be welfare for women when they have babies over and over again, or if they have it in some areas where they have 5 or 6 or 7 kids and they can't take care of their kids, and then the state has to come in and do something about it. Nothing happens to these women. Nobody comes says they're not fit to be parents. They do that to men all the time. They say if you can't support them with money, if you're not a job or not, they label you a deadbeat dad. That doesn't happen in our society. And our society is so gynocentric, and nobody wants to talk about it. And I did love the fact that the woman came out there. But of course, they only gave her like 60 seconds to talk about it, because it's true. I mean, come on now. Why do I have to defend Donald Trump here? I mean, again, I'm not a supporter. There's something I agree with him. I'm all about this PC stuff. But Donald Trump is not. He is the biggest traditional person out there. He really believed that some are good men, but the most men are not good. That he wants us to stand up. That we need to be white knighting for all men or all women, and he thinks in his mind, I really thinks that women has to be taken care of because they can't do things on their own. Now, if you look at his business side, I mean, he's one of the first persons to hire women and put them in areas where they're good at. But the point I'm trying to say is this thing needs to stop. If you really want it to be equal, take responsibility for what you fucking do. If you have sex, before you have sex, make the man wear a condom. If not, make him get the fuck out. Take the pill for fuck's sake, instead of paying to have someone there to take it out. You have all this stuff here, and at the end of the day, if somebody gives you some sort of fictional type of scenario that says, what if abortion was legal, and would you punish the women that have abortion? Well, if it's against the fucking law, I think you would. I mean, if the law looks at the baby inside a woman that has a human that has a right to life, and she decides to kill it, yeah, that's murder. Okay, so let's get past this. They're never going to do it. You know, I've said what I think I am. I'm pro-choice with limitations, but Jesus Christ. Before I leave, I want to talk about Michelle Field. Even today, she's still saying that everything that she said, that her story has not changed, that she was apparently pulled down. I mean, you can tell that as I said in my first video 3 weeks ago, and thank you for those who watched it, that's like in the top, I think that's my biggest view ever, but yeah, she was tucked. But I'll also find out she was told twice by the Secret Service to get away from Trump. So, and he wasn't even, I mean, this has all been covered by Prison Planet and stuff, so you guys can look it up there. But she's a liar. And then there are still people defending her. And here again, it's the same issue that Paris Morgan said it, that if it was a man, no one would give a shit. It wouldn't even come up. And he basically told her to, toughen up. And everybody came on and got on top of him, even though he's another one like that. I mean, give me a fucking break here. If you want to be in the mixed females, deal with that this can happen. I don't think Barbara would have done this. I'm talking about Barbara Walters or Joan London or anything like that. Who would have done this? She did it for her own fame and whatever, in infamy, to get her name out there. She'll be the victim class, because that's what they are now. They want to be part of the victim class, and it just goes on and on. So that's what I have today. If you have any comments, just let me know below. Tell me I'm stupid on this situation. I don't think I am. I think that if somebody asked me a question like this, I would say let's move on, because it's not factual. Okay, he can say he's pro-life or not. But the point is, if it was legal and a woman decided to abort her baby, then it would be against the law and the person should be punished. That's all I have to say on that. All right, that's all I have. You guys have a good day. Bye.